Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. This is not a coincidence. You seeing this is a direct intervention from the divine realm. Every other sign has been missed or ignored. So heaven had to route this specific frequency directly to your screen right now. The window for your massive breakthrough is closing fast. If you leave now, you will single-handedly shut the door on the blessing your soul has been crying out for. You have spent long, silent nights praying for an answer. You have begged for relief, and the answer is finally rushing toward you at incredible speed. Do not take your eyes off this screen. The universe is watching your obedience. The heavy attacks you have been facing recently are not random. The exhaustion and the weird setbacks are hard proof that the enemy is panicking. Why are they so terrified? Because a massive generational wealth transfer has just been approved in your name. They know you are on the verge of claiming it. They want you to swipe away. But there is a hidden mechanism buried deep inside this message. A secret transmission that you will completely miss if you do not stay until the final second. If you leave early, the blessing will still arrive, but you will have absolutely no idea how to unlock it. You will lack the spiritual equipment to hold the immense power. The season of waiting has officially ended. I need you to pause and deeply absorb that truth. You are not here by chance today, just moments ago. A sacred seal with your exact name on it was opened in the heavenly courts. The endless tests and the tears were all a rigorous preparation. They were designed to turn you into a massive vessel. Listen carefully. Take one slow breath. That strange tightness in your chest is your spirit detecting a massive shift in your timeline. Stop letting the world convince you that you are just stressed or unlucky. Heaven is trying to hand you the ultimate decoder ring. The weird phenomena happening around you lately are all connected to this. Pay close attention to this next part, because it will make sense of your entire past year. You have felt entirely isolated and pushed to the absolute edge. People have been acting strange, and doors have been closing unexpectedly. You thought you were being punished, but you were actually being divinely protected for a kingdom-level upgrade. Right now, the darkness does not want you to hear these next words. If you take your eyes off this message, you will strip yourself of the key to recognizing your ultimate kingdom connection. Do you want to know exactly why divine timing is descending upon you right now? Brace yourself, because the truth will shatter every illusion you have held. A secret delivery is coming for you, but you must be completely prepared to receive it. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see your power growing. They severely underestimated your silent resilience. But heaven saw every single time you chose to stay kind. Now, the universe is aligning a collision of miraculous events just for you. Before you do anything else today, make a solid promise to your future self. Do not let this frequency fade away. If you close this page now, you might be stuck in the same cycle of survival for another 10 years. The door is wide open, but it is closing extremely fast. The elite forces are actively trying to block this transmission. My beloved child, you are the anomaly. You are the rare soul that carried the weight of your entire bloodline. And because of that immense burden, you are now being chosen for an unprecedented reward. The universe does not reward the loud and the manipulative. It rewards the quiet authority of a true master of reality. There is a reason your spirit has been so restless lately. You feel like something massive is hovering just above you. You are absolutely right. The heavy clouds are finally breaking. But wait, you must understand the exact nature of the reward before it lands, because receiving it without the proper knowledge will cause it to slip away. I am going to reveal the fatal trap the darkness is laying right now. They want to sabotage this glorious union between you and your destiny. 99% of chosen ones fall for this specific illusion right before their dawn. Do not let that be your story. Stay completely locked onto this frequency until the very end. Every closed door was a blessing. Every rejection was divine protection. And now the ultimate yes is echoing through the cosmos for you. You are stepping into the timeline you were born to rule. Listen closely to the sound of your own heartbeat right now. It is confirming the truth of these words. The shift has officially begun. Do not ignore this critical moment. The universe is handing you the final puzzle piece. If you have been begging for a clear sign, this is it. There is no more guessing and no more waiting in the dark. The light is blinding and it is pointing directly at you. Prepare your mind and your spirit, because nothing will ever be the same again. Before we go any further, I need you to understand something crucial about your current state. The exhaustion you feel right now is incredibly deep. It is not just physical tiredness from a long day at work, but a profound spiritual fatigue that reaches deeply into your bones. Tap the like button as an act of agreement with what heaven just spoke to your heart. You have been walking through a desert of isolation for so long. You look around and wonder why no one truly understands your heart. You give so much of your energy to others. You pour your love into people who only take. And when you finally need a shoulder to lean on, the room is completely empty because they left you behind. You are left entirely alone with your thoughts. But there is a specific reason for this intense solitude, and I will reveal exactly why your sleep has been so violently disrupted lately. Think about the last few weeks. You keep waking up suddenly at 3 a.m. with your mind racing. Your heart is pounding in your chest for no logical reason. You stare at the ceiling and feel a heavy weight of anxiety pressing down. People tell you that you are just stressed out. They say you need to relax or take a vacation, but your intuition knows their advice is completely wrong. You are not going crazy. You are not losing your grip on reality. The medical world calls it insomnia, but heaven calls it a divine activation sequence happening inside your physical body, preparing you for the shift that is approaching. You have become hyper-aware of the energies around you. Notice how you suddenly feel drained when a specific person enters the room. You might get a tight feeling in your chest when certain people text you. Your body is acting as an advanced spiritual radar. It is detecting toxic frequencies and warning you to establish boundaries immediately before their chaotic energy infects your peace. This is why you have developed a sudden disgust for shallow conversations. You can no longer tolerate meaningless gossip or fake smiles. When people try to engage you in trivial drama, your soul literally recoils in exhaustion because you were made for something much deeper. You crave deep and authentic connections, but finding them feels like searching for water in a barren wasteland. You are an empath who has absorbed the pain of everyone around you. You became the emotional dumping ground for broken people. You thought you were helping them heal by taking on their heavy burdens. But they left you depleted and walked away. You stayed quiet to keep the peace. You sacrificed your mental health to keep them comfortable, ignoring the red flags because you wanted the best for them. And that realization hurts more than anything else. They used your beautiful light to navigate their own dark storms. Then they abandoned you when your light started to dim. You cry silent tears when no one is watching. You scream into your pillow because the injustice feels too heavy to carry. Why does being good have to hurt so much when all you ever did was love people with your entire soul? Take a deep breath and listen carefully to this next part. I see your hidden pain and the universe sees every single tear. You are the cycle breaker for your bloodline. You are carrying a generational weight that no ordinary person could ever survive. The pain you feel is the intense pressure of a diamond being forged in the darkest depths, preparing you to shine brighter than ever. Now let me explain the truth about those 3 a.m. wake-up calls. The reason you jolt awake in the middle of the night is not anxiety. It is the exact hour when the veil between worlds is the absolute thinnest. Heaven is downloading new spiritual blueprints directly into your subconscious mind, and your physical body is struggling to process the massive energy upgrade all at once. Your nervous system is being completely rewired while you sleep. The racing thoughts are just old limiting beliefs being violently purged from your system. You are shedding the heavy layers of trauma that you carried for decades. It is an uncomfortable and deeply exhausting process, but it is entirely necessary to prepare you for the immense blessing that is coming, because you cannot carry old baggage. You are perfectly safe inside this divine transition. Stop fighting the sleepless nights and judging your tired body. When you wake up in the dark, do not reach for your phone to distract yourself. Just lie still and allow the universe to complete its sacred work. The divine isolation was necessary to keep you out of the wrong rooms, away from the people who secretly plotted your downfall. If you had stayed in those old environments, your frequency would have been permanently damaged by their manipulation. The intense loneliness you feel right now is actually a protective shield. It is keeping you hidden while you undergo this spiritual metamorphosis. You are no longer the victim of your circumstances. You are a masterpiece in the making, and every painful cut is designing a new future. Do you feel that slight pull in your chest right now? That is your intuition, confirming that every word I am speaking is true. The dark night of the soul is finally reaching its end. But you must understand exactly how the enemy used your kindness against you, because identifying their weapon is the only way to ensure they can never use it again in this new and glorious timeline. I need to ask you a very difficult question about your past. Why did every major plan you made in the last year suddenly crumble into dust? Why did the people you trusted most completely turn their backs on you when you needed them? You thought you did something terribly wrong, but the real answer to this painful mystery is going to absolutely shock you. You have spent months analyzing every conversation and every mistake. You carried the heavy guilt of those broken relationships. You apologized when you were not even at fault, because your empathetic heart could not stand the thought of causing pain to anyone else, while they easily slept at night after destroying your peace. Stop doing that immediately. Stop blaming yourself for the bitter rejections. The betrayal you experienced was not a reflection of your true worth. It was a strict spiritual intervention. Heaven saw the toxic intentions hidden behind their fake smiles and their warm hugs, so the universe had to forcefully remove them from your path. The sudden separation was not a punishment at all. It was a divine isolation protocol. Your spiritual frequency was rising to an incredibly high level. You were becoming a massive beacon of pure light. And if those low vibrational people had stayed in your life, they would have anchored you down completely and drained your energy until you had nothing left. The painful quarantine was entirely necessary. Think about how they treated your beautiful dreams. They mocked your grand visions and made you feel extremely small. They wanted you to stay trapped in their miserable matrix. But heaven had a much bigger agenda for your life that required you to be completely alone while your soul underwent a profound upgrade. Solitude was your only safe place. The universe deliberately isolated you in a quarantine of grace. You were put in a holding pattern to protect your sensitive aura. It felt like a brutal rejection from society. You cried because you felt abandoned by the very people you helped heal, but they did not reject you because you were fundamentally broken. They rejected you because you were too intimidating. Your quiet authority made their hidden demons completely panic. A healed person no longer tolerates manipulation disguised as love. You started setting firm boundaries. You stopped bending over backward to accommodate their endless and selfish demands, and that sudden shift in your energy absolutely terrified them. They realized they could no longer control you, so they tried to paint you as the villain of the story. They spread rumors and twisted your words to protect their fragile egos. Let them talk. Their toxic opinions cannot stop the massive wave of blessings rushing toward your timeline right now, because the divine isolation has successfully purged the poison. You are finally clean and ready to receive. You survived the darkest storm completely alone. You learned how to comfort yourself when the night was cold and terrifying. Your tears washed away the illusion of their fake love. And that immense self-reliance has forged you into a spiritual warrior with unbreakable boundaries, while elevating your mind to a completely new dimension. You are now a master of your reality. This brings us back to the painful question I asked earlier. The reason your past plans failed was never because you were inadequate. The closed doors were actually impenetrable shields. Heaven intentionally ruined your old plans so that your new destiny could finally breathe, blocking you from entering rooms that would have destroyed your beautiful soul. It was all a profound rescue mission. That is the beautiful truth about your painful past. You were deliberately held back so you would not settle for less. The universe was simply clearing the crowded stage. Every single tear you cried was watering the seeds of your upcoming kingdom connection and preparing your heart to hold the immense weight of true abundance. Take a deep breath today. You have officially passed the most difficult test. You did not become bitter when the world was incredibly cruel. You kept your empathetic heart remarkably soft. But you also learned how to carry a very sharp sword to protect your inner peace, and your frequency is now perfectly calibrated to receive the wealth. The waiting room is totally empty. Do you feel the heavy burden lifting from your shoulders? That is the old timeline breaking away from your energy field. The pain of the past has no more power over you. But there is still a hidden mechanism of darkness trying to delay the final delivery while you stand right at the edge of your glorious dawn. You must learn how to bypass it. Listen closely to the quiet whisper in your soul. The divine isolation was your greatest training ground. You learned the sacred language of the universe in total silence. And now you are about to step out of the shadows with a radiant power that will blind the enemies who thought they had defeated you. The upcoming spiritual battle requires your absolute focus. There is a dark mechanism that has been quietly operating behind the scenes. It is the exact reason why your biggest prayers were constantly delayed. You thought the universe was just making you wait for no reason, but there was a massive spiritual attack happening, and it was designed to block your blessings. The enemy knew the massive scale of the wealth coming your way, so they sent specific agents of darkness to intercept your frequency. These were the narcissists and the manipulators who suddenly entered your life. They arrived disguised as true friends, but they carried a hidden agenda to steal your divine light. They used your incredibly big heart as a weapon against you. They created constant drama to keep your nervous system trapped in survival mode. Because when you are constantly anxious, your spiritual frequency drops drastically, and a low frequency cannot physically receive the high vibration of true abundance. They deliberately planted seeds of deep doubt in your mind. They made you question your sanity and your immense spiritual gifts. They gaslighted you until you felt completely small and powerless. Because a chosen one who does not know their true power is very easy to control, while a fully awakened master is impossible to manipulate. The long delay you experienced was actually a fierce spiritual battlefield. Every time you tried to step into your new timeline, they threw another heavy obstacle in your path. They wanted you to eventually give up on your beautiful dreams. They hoped you would surrender to a mediocre life, but they failed to realize the immense strength of your spirit. But the darkness made one massive and fatal miscalculation. They thought the constant pressure would eventually break your spirit. Instead, the immense pressure only forced you to dig deeper into your soul. You stopped relying on their fake validation, and you started building an unbreakable connection directly with the divine source. The mechanism of delay is now being violently dismantled by heaven. The heavy chains of manipulation are snapping right in front of you. Those who tried to keep you stuck are now watching in absolute terror, because your frequency has risen so high that their dark tactics can no longer reach you, and your peaceful mind remains completely unaffected. They are scrambling to find new ways to drain your energy. You might even hear from an old toxic person very soon. They will text you out of nowhere with a fake apology, but you must recognize this as a desperate trap from the enemy, because they are trying to pull you back into the chaos you just escaped. Do not respond to their pathetic attempts to reconnect today. Your silence is the ultimate weapon that will completely destroy their control. Every time you choose to ignore their bait, you take back another massive piece of your stolen energy. You are starving the demons that used to feast on your beautiful empathy, and you are taking back your power. The truth is that you were never broken or truly cursed. You were just severely attacked because you hold the exact blueprint for generational wealth. The enemy tried to bury you alive under a massive mountain of lies, but they completely forgot that you were a sacred seed, and the dark dirt was the perfect place for you to finally grow. Take a deep breath and feel the heavy chains falling away. The illusion of their power is dissolving rapidly into nothing. You are waking up to the incredible reality of your true identity. You are the cycle breaker who survived the worst storms alone, and now you stand untouched by the dark forces that tried to ruin you. Everything they stole from you is being returned with massive interest. The universe has kept a strict record of every single injustice. The delays are officially over, and the floodgates are bursting wide open. The wealth that was meant for you is tracking your exact location right now, and it is preparing to manifest in your physical reality very soon. You have successfully navigated the most dangerous spiritual minefield in existence. Your beautiful empathy is no longer a bleeding wound for them to exploit. It is now a highly calibrated radar that strictly protects your sacred energy. As you step forward into this glorious new chapter of abundance, you will never allow another energy vampire to cross your firm boundaries again. You are now fully shielded by an impenetrable wall of radiant light. Their malicious thoughts bounce right off your newly upgraded aura. You can walk through the darkest valleys and remain completely untouched, because you finally understand the dirty games they played, and a true master of reality never falls for the same cheap trick twice. This alignment is a very rare and highly sacred cosmic event. You must actively claim it to lock the new frequency into place. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this alignment. Doing this simple act will solidify your physical connection to the divine realm, and it will permanently block the enemy from returning to your space. The dark mechanism is completely shattered. The universe is sending massive confirmation. You are no longer waiting blindly, because heaven is dropping undeniable proof directly onto your path right now. The miracle is finally coming for you, and it is leaving massive energetic footprints for your eyes only. Let us look at the sacred signs together. The heavy barriers have been completely broken. The universe loves to communicate through divine synchronicities. You are entering a highly magnetic state where coincidence no longer exists. Every strange encounter and every repeating number is a direct message from heaven. Pay close attention to these undeniable signs of your imminent upgrade. Number 1. You are seeing repeating numbers everywhere you look. You glance at the clock and it says 11:11. You buy a coffee and the total is exactly $7.77. This is not a random glitch in your day. This is the universe confirming that your frequency is perfectly aligned with pure abundance. The divine realm is shouting your name through these numerical codes. They are setting up a glowing trail of breadcrumbs for you to follow confidently. When you see these numbers, your soul feels a sudden rush of deep comfort, because your spirit instantly recognizes the language of heaven, and it knows the waiting season is over. Number 2. You suddenly feel entirely detached from the drama of your past. The things that used to make you cry now leave you completely unbothered. You look back at the people who broke your heart, and you feel absolutely nothing but a cold indifference. Your emotional cord to their toxic matrix has been permanently severed by heaven. This sudden apathy is a massive spiritual milestone for you. You are no longer carrying the heavy luggage of old resentments. You have successfully emptied your vessel, and now heaven has the perfect space to pour in the new blessings. The profound emptiness you feel is actually the purest form of readiness for your upcoming miracle. Number 3. You feel an unexplainable peace during absolute chaos. The world around you might be spinning out of control right now. People are panicking and systems are failing everywhere you look. But deep inside your chest, there is a very quiet and steady rhythm of total victory. You are anchored to a much higher reality. This is the true meaning of being a master of reality. While everyone else is drowning in fear, you are calmly walking on top of the raging waters. Your nervous system has finally accepted the divine protection protocol. You know with absolute certainty that the universe is working relentlessly in your favor behind the heavy curtains. Number 4. Old obstacles are suddenly dissolving without any effort. The heavy doors that remained firmly locked for years are now blowing off their hinges. You are receiving unexpected emails and sudden opportunities out of thin air. The invisible walls that kept you contained have been completely shattered by a massive wave of divine grace. You are literally watching the impossible become entirely normal. People who previously ignored your value are suddenly drawn to your radiant energy. The universe is magnetically pulling the right resources directly into your hands. You do not have to fight or struggle anymore, because your quiet authority is doing all the heavy lifting for you. Number 5. You are experiencing vivid dreams that feel completely real. While you sleep deeply, your soul is visiting the new timeline before it physically manifests. You wake up feeling like you just returned from a beautiful and distant kingdom. Heaven is giving you exclusive previews of the glorious life that awaits you tomorrow. These nighttime visions are highly classified downloads from the divine source. They are recalibrating your physical brain to accept massive amounts of sudden wealth. Your subconscious mind is being prepared so you will not self-sabotage when the miracle arrives. The transition from intense lack to overwhelming abundance requires a very strong vessel. Take a deep breath and let all these signs validate your journey. You are not imagining this massive shift in the atmosphere. The heavy storm has passed, and the golden sunlight is directly hitting your face. You have bravely walked through the painful fire, and now you are emerging completely untouched by the destructive flames. You are standing at the absolute center of a divine convergence. The miracle is screaming your exact name as it hurtles through space and time. You can almost feel the physical vibration of it shaking the ground beneath your feet. But before we go to the deeper signs, I have to address something extremely dangerous first. There is a hidden layer to this phenomenon that you must understand. Because right before the massive breakthrough finally lands, the darkness will make one last desperate attempt to steal it. I have to warn you about a fatal trap first. If you do not recognize this final illusion, you could lose everything right at the finish line. But before the golden dawn finally breaks over your life, there is one final test. The darkness knows it has completely lost the war for your soul, but the enemy will make one last desperate attempt to steal your crown right at the finish line. This is the fatal trap I warned you about earlier. 99% of chosen ones fall for this specific illusion. You must listen very closely to this warning, because the final attack will not look like an attack at all. It will come dressed up as exactly what you have been praying for. The enemy cannot stop the massive blessing from arriving, so they will try to distract you with a very shiny counterfeit. They want you to settle for the fake version. The counterfeit will arrive just moments before your true miracle manifests. It might be an old toxic partner suddenly texting you with a fake apology. Or it could be a brand new opportunity that looks amazing on the surface but feels strangely heavy in your spirit. The universe is testing your discernment. Will you accept toxic breadcrumbs again? You have done so much deep healing over the past year, but heaven needs to see if you will actually apply those hard lessons in real time. When the counterfeit knocks on your door, it is designed to trigger your old wounds and make you doubt your worth. Do not reply to their pathetic attempts to reconnect. Your silence is strictly required today. If you engage with this toxic distraction, your spiritual frequency will instantly plummet. You will be pulled back into the dense energy of the old matrix, and the massive wealth transfer hovering above you will be delayed once again. The counterfeit is a highly calibrated weapon. It is specifically engineered to hijack your emotional stability right now. But you have a built-in alarm system that never fails. Pay very close attention to how your physical body reacts to this sudden arrival. Your mind might be confused by their sweet words, but your stomach will instantly tie itself into tight knots. That deep physical anxiety is your spirit guide screaming at you to walk away immediately. Trust that physical reaction over any logical explanation. A true blessing from the divine realm will not cause deep confusion or wild anxiety. When the real miracle finally lands in your hands, it will bring an overwhelming sense of profound peace. The counterfeit always brings a chaotic storm wrapped in a pretty box. Do not open that toxic box. This is your ultimate moment of profound purification. You must firmly reject the fake offer to prove that you know your true value. When you look the counterfeit in the eye and say a solid no, a massive shockwave ripples through the spiritual realm. You are telling heaven that you refuse to settle for anything less than absolute perfection. That single word of rejection is the final key turning in the lock. The moment you close the door on the toxic distraction, the heavy chains break forever. The enemy will panic and flee from your timeline completely because they have zero ammunition left. You have officially starved the darkness out of your sacred space, and you are totally free. Let go of the lingering guilt for leaving them behind. You were never assigned to be their personal savior at the expense of your own sanity. Your only job right now is to fiercely protect the new frequency you have worked so hard to build. The divine wealth requires an entirely clean vessel. You cannot pour pure gold into a muddy cup. There will be a brief moment of total silence after you reject the fake. This empty void might feel slightly terrifying for a short second. But you must not panic in the absolute stillness. That brief, empty space is simply the universe clearing the massive runway for your true blessing to finally land. Stand completely still and hold your sacred ground. You are heavily guarded during this final transition phase. Archangel Michael and a legion of spiritual warriors are standing in a tight circle around you. Nothing is allowed to penetrate your energy field unless you give it permission. Keep your energetic boundaries firmly locked, because the final manifestation is literally seconds away from appearing. The intense pressure you feel is the old world collapsing behind you. You are stepping completely out of the painful cycle of endless suffering. Every lesson has been fully absorbed, and every toxic attachment has been permanently burned away in the hot fire. You are now walking into the blinding light of your ultimate destiny. Prepare yourself. The heavy countdown is completely over. The shadows have retreated, and the stage is finally set for your glorious revelation. Do not look back at the burning ruins of your past, because your beautiful future is demanding your total attention right now. The incredible shift you have waited your entire life for is about to hit you with massive force. The waiting season is officially over. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into a beautiful oasis of divine favor. Every closed door in your path is currently being blown completely off its hinges, and you can finally feel that massive shift in your spirit right this very second. That vibration is the exact frequency of absolute victory. You are stepping into the exact timeline you were born to rule. This brings us to the ultimate revelation. I promised you the secret mechanism that would allow you to hold this massive blessing. The secret is that you had to stop functioning in survival mode. The universe could not hand you generational wealth while you were still operating out of deep fear, because your new frequency of quiet authority is the only container strong enough to hold the power. They always thought your silence was a sign of weakness. They thought they had finally broken your spirit when they pushed you into brutal isolation. But what they completely failed to realize was that your solitude was an elite training ground. You did not break under the heavy pressure. You evolved into a magnificent weapon of pure light, and the silence after the storm hits completely different now. Because you suddenly realize that you were the beautiful storm all along, you are no longer the bleeding empath who constantly begged to be understood by blind people. The painful crucible has heavily forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. From this exact moment on, your radiant energy demands immediate respect without a single word being spoken. The old version of you is entirely gone. Those who plotted against your rise are now watching their empires crumble into dust. A massive table is being prepared for you in their direct presence. But you will not even look in their direction, because your focus is entirely locked onto the divine kingdom. Your silence has become a highly dangerous weapon that absolutely terrifies them. They can no longer manipulate what they cannot access. Breathe that glorious truth deeply into your lungs. The universe has officially handed you the keys to the kingdom. Every single tear you shed in the dark has been fully transformed into a solid brick of gold for your new empire. The generational curses that plagued your family bloodline for hundreds of years have just been shattered permanently. You are the ultimate cycle breaker they prayed for. You are standing at the absolute pinnacle of your spiritual mountain. The pitch-black darkness has retreated far behind you in total defeat. The dawn of your new era is currently shining its brightest and most powerful rays directly onto your spiritual crown. You can literally feel the heavy chains turning into dust around your ankles. You are completely free to walk into your wild abundance. This immense surge of divine energy is rushing through your physical veins right now. Heaven is flooding your nervous system with pure and unshakable peace. But you cannot let this massive frequency simply pass through you like a temporary breeze. You must anchor it firmly into the physical world before the enemy tries to steal your focus again, because the miracle is hovering right in front of your eyes. Your spirit is currently burning with the bright fire of 1,000 suns. The angels are standing by and waiting for your physical confirmation. They need you to perform a specific action to prove that your human body is fully aligned with your upgraded soul. This is a sacred contract between you and the divine creator. You must seal this new reality to activate the final layer of your ultimate protection. Do not let this incredible moment slip through your fingers. The elite forces that profit off your exhaustion are terrified of what happens next. They are absolutely terrified of a fully awakened, chosen one. You are literally rewriting the history of your entire family tree right now, so you must gather all of your remaining energy and prepare to make your final declaration. The portal is glowing brightly, and the golden gates are swinging wide open for you. The heavy burden has been permanently lifted from your tired shoulders. You have survived the brutal storm, and you have won the invisible war. Now heaven is demanding that you lock this glorious victory into place. Listen very closely to the final instruction that is about to be revealed, because your immediate action will finalize the massive transfer. Every ounce of pain was completely worth it for this exact moment. You look back at the shattered pieces of your past, and you finally understand the brilliant masterpiece heaven was painting. The universe did not punish you. It simply stripped away everything that was too small for your massive destiny. You are finally wearing the heavy crown that was promised to you since the day you were born. The divine wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly into your new timeline. You are a giant magnet for incredible miracles and unexplainable favor. But the spiritual law requires a physical action to bind the heavenly decree to the earthly realm. Your physical participation is the final stamp of approval on this massive delivery. Prepare your heart and your hands to lock down this divine reality forever. The absolute peak of your spiritual awakening has finally arrived today. You have successfully navigated the darkest night of your entire soul. The toxic enemy is completely defeated. And while their fragile weapons are broken, you stand as the untouchable master of your own glorious reality. But you must lock this beautiful frequency into place immediately. The darkness is waiting for you to walk away in silence. They desperately want you to close this video without claiming your divine inheritance. Because if you do not physically accept the massive gift, the blessing will remain suspended in the heavenly realm. You must perform the final seal right now to ground your miracle. To lock in this glorious frequency and create an absolute shield of protection, you must act. Type exactly these powerful words down in the comments below. I am ready to receive my blessing. Type it out proudly. Because this simple physical action is a binding contract between your beautiful soul and the expansive universe. When you type your declaration into the physical world, a massive shift happens. The angels immediately record your bold obedience in the sacred books of heaven. The heavy chains of your past are permanently sealed, and they are locked inside a dark vault that can never be opened again while you step into freedom. Your written declaration is a powerful alarm bell ringing through the spiritual realm. It completely blinds the toxic people who tried to steal your radiant joy. They will suddenly forget your name. Because you have just activated a divine force field that only pure love and genuine light can ever hope to successfully penetrate. But you must also establish a permanent receiving station for future miracles. Hit the subscribe button right now to anchor yourself at the highest vibrational frequency. This is not just about joining a simple community online. Subscribing is a highly sacred act of building a strong fortress for your daily spiritual nourishment and absolute protection. When you hit that button, you create a dedicated portal for heaven to reach you. The enemy algorithms cannot block the light when you intentionally open the heavy door. You are sending a clear signal. You are telling the universe that your physical vessel is ready to receive constant divine updates while you rest peacefully. Now listen closely to this final instruction about the law of divine multiplication. If this fiery message has reignited the beautiful faith inside your tired heart, do not keep it hidden. You must not hoard this massive blessing to yourself. Heaven requires you to prove your generosity, and you must step up as a radiant leader. There is a broken soul out there bleeding in the dark of despair right now. They are crying themselves to sleep just like you used to do. They desperately need a guiding light, and you hold the exact medicine they have been desperately praying for while they suffer alone in the terrifying and cold darkness. Share this message with them immediately to activate your final anointing. Send this powerful frequency to someone who feels completely lost and abandoned by the world. Sowing the seed of bright hope today is multiplying the blessing, because the universe always rewards the brave cycle breaker who chooses to heal the collective pain while elevating their own frequency. You are no longer the fragile empath who constantly begged to be deeply understood. The brutal crucible of pain has forged you into the ultimate master of your reality. Your old identity is completely gone, and from this moment forward, your radiant energy demands absolute respect without a single word being spoken while you wear a heavy crown. The angels are celebrating your glorious victory in the heavenly courts right now. They are blowing the golden trumpets to announce your safe arrival into the promised land. The divine wealth you were promised is flowing beautifully into your hands, because you have finally made it across the raging river of tears, and you are standing on the shores of abundance, completely unharmed. Never look back at the burning ruins of your old toxic life. The people who abandoned you will eventually realize the massive mistake they made, but you will be entirely too far ahead to even hear their desperate apologies. You are currently operating on a frequency that is completely invisible to them, and their chaos cannot touch your peace. Go forward with absolute courage and let your brilliant light blind the shadows. Remember that you are fiercely protected by the highest powers in the entire cosmos. Take one last deep breath and step boldly into your beautiful new kingdom. Your magnificent story of ultimate triumph has only just begun today, and the entire universe is cheering loudly for you.